Morning everybody, welcome back to another episode of the North Carolina Woodworks. I had a little mishap with the last piece of lumber making the cedar box for the windmill, so I went out and purchased a piece of 1x6. It's actually 3/4 by 5.5 of pine. It's nice and solid. It's not cupped like the cedar was. Hopefully I won't have a kickback on it. It's going to destroy what I started, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing set up. And I got to cut 4 pieces 12 inches long, so got my table set up for building it. Got my miter saw right here. Table saw's been rolled outside, so we're going to get busy at it. I'm going to get this board over here and we will make some cuts. Give me a second. One of the main things you want to think about is making sure you have proper hearing protection and safety glasses. Skill makes nice saws, but they are noisy, and you want to protect your hearing and protect your eyes from wood splinters flying around. So remember, safety third. That's a much smoother cut. A lot better than the, oh yeah. That's what we're looking for. Nice smooth cut. The fence picket material was cupped and rough and did not get nice cuts, so we're gonna cut 3 more like that. Be right back. Now we've got the 4 boards cut at 12 inches. Now I got to cut 2 boards at 5 7/8 of an inch. Always check, make sure, see how accurate you are, and I'm right on it. Be right back. Alright, I got 2 at 5 7/8, and now I'm going to do 1 board at 7 1/4, and I'm going to cut 1 board at 7 3/4. The 5 7/8 boards will be used on building the sides of the house, and the 7 1/4 and the 7 3/4 will overlap like this to build the peak of the roof. So we got to rip down the boards, 12-inch boards, so be right back. The 4 12-inch boards will be ripped down to 5 1/4 inch. And the finished board will be 5 1/4 inch on the dot. The 2 5 7/8 boards will be ripped down to 4.5 inches. Okay, we got 4.5 by 5 7/8. The 4 12-inch boards, we will pair them up. They have to be joined together, so we're going to place a mark at 2 inches and 10 inches. And that's where we will put a pocket hole. I've transferred the mark to both pieces so I can line them up after the pocket holes are drilled. Go over here to the Craig Jig 720 Pro. What to do is line this mark up with the hole, whichever one I'm going to use to drill. There's a line right there, dead center of that hole, so we just line that board up in there. This thing is self-adjusting, so we line it up and lock it in place. Drill our hole. And we'll move it over to the next one. Whichever one of these we want to use, line it up, clamp it in place, drill our hole. Now this does come with an attachment if you want to hook your vacuum to it. Slide it in there, put your vacuum hose on it. It will pull up all this sawdust with your vacuum system. So that's just one of the options this one has. Now that I got these here lined up, what I'll do is I'll just put some glue along the edge of it. And I got some 1¼ pocket hole screws, being that this is a 3/4. If it was a fence picket using a 1/2 inch material, I would use a 1-inch screw. So if my glue is ready, just run some along the edge. Line it up like so. Use your pocket hole screws. It's got a little square tip on it, so we'll run the screw in here. It might be a good idea to clamp these two together before we do that. Let me pause here for a second. I'm gonna get a clamp on there. All right, got it on a flat surface. Got a clamp holding the two boards together, and then I'm gonna run the pocket hole screw in. Alrighty. I'm gonna need a longer bit. 720 Pro does come with a longer bit, so makes it easier, so I can now come in here and there we go. That one's joined. I'll do the same with the other. When they've been joined with pocket holes, you should have two boards that are 12 inches by 10.5 inches. Okay, we're going to take the two boards with the screws facing up. What we're going to do is turn the miter saw at 8 degrees to the left. 5, 6, 7, and 8 right there. What you want to do, you want the saw to cut from this outside corner upwards at that 8-degree mark. So here's my shadow line. Get it lined up with the outside edge. Make sure we're square. I don't want to suffer another kickback, so I've got a clamp on this saw. I'm going to take this clamp on the other side and I'm going to clamp this thing down so it doesn't move. Hold on just a second. Okay, as you can see, I've got a clamp right there holding it down, so I'm going to go ahead and make a cut on this one side, 8 degrees. Release the clamp, and we're going to flip it, and we're going to make the same cut. Right here, make sure my line is right where it needs to be. Make sure she's square. Set my clamp and lock it. Now this thing should be 12 inches outside to outside. Alright. I gotta move the saw to 34 degrees to the left now. At 34 degrees, we want to rotate it to the narrow side of the wood facing the blade and put it against the fence. And then we're going to measure down 4 1/2 inches. So what we're going to do here is that 4 1/2 inch mark, will be our reference on this next cut. To avoid a kickback, I'm going to put my clamp back in here. Lock it down. Let's line our board up where we need it. So 4.5 inches. According to the shadow line, it's right there. Clamp is locked in place. Now we're going to cut this here 34-degree angle. Alright. And now we are going to flip this. And this, my friends, is where my kickback occurred on the last video. Get my shadow line right there at the peak of that cut. I'm going to lock it down again this time. And very carefully, I'm going to make my cut. I'm going to let the saw do the work, because if I try to force it, it's going to kick back. And that's what happened last time. Perfect cut. Now, you should have two halves that look like this. And this is what the sides and the roof's going to mount to make the house for the top of the windmill.